What the fuck is
Ash Wednesday? If you live among Catholics, you probably noticed their bizarre schmutz on the face tradition last Wednesday, and if you're anything like me, you had to consciously work not to lick your thumb and wipe it off. It should surprise nobody that the holiday celebrated by looking like you were just going down on a chimney sweep hasn't exactly caught on in the wider Christian world, leading many people to ask,
what the fuck is
that shit on your forehead. Ash Wednesday marks the start of the calendrically absurd clusterfuck of subordinate celebrations that lead up to the pinnacle holiday of the American Atheists' annual convention, also known as Easter. It marks the beginning of Lent, which is a 40-day fast that represents the 40 days Jesus spent tripping on cactuses in the desert, except that Christians are wusses, so they take weekly breaks from their imaginary vicarious desert wanderings every Sunday, leading to a total of 46 days. In a further symbol of their wussery relative to Jesus, they also don't do much in terms of fasting, but rather just give up one thing when other Catholics are looking. Because of a wacky attempt to force the round hole of a solar calendar into the square peg of a lunar one, Ash Wednesday can fall anywhere between the 4th of February and the 10th of March. The most visible part of the holiday, of course, is the aforementioned shit on their face, which is traditionally the ash of the palm branch that they blessed on last year's Palm Sunday, which is ceremonially placed on their head by a Catholic priest, preferably using his non-fingering kid butt's hand. The ashes are smeared in a vaguely cross-like pattern, which is supposed to remain on your head throughout the day as a reminder to everyone that you're willing to look stupid for Jesus. What often began as a cross quickly morphs into a shapeless blob in short order and, for the viewing enjoyment of your less superstitious friends, often runs into your eyes and hairline. Of course, like all things divinely mandated by the one and only true God, there's very little agreement on how this is supposed to work. In much of the non-English speaking world, the ashes are scattered over the heads of the faithful, and it's likely the practice of forehead smudging began as a women's only alternative, as female scalps offend God and thus traditionally remained covered in church. The convenience of not having to wash that shit out of your hair in the pre-hot running water and shampoo days likely led to the popularity of the far less dignified alternative. The use of ashes to signify remorse or grief has plenty of biblical precedent, of course, and thus the ritual is a symbolic way of reminding the all-knowing God that you're really sorry that lady's apophilia made him temporarily kill his kid.